What's going on, everybody? Today we're talking all about the power of silence on your job. So we're going to go over the 5 areas that you should be moving in silence. So the first area that you want to move in silence in is actually before you accept the job at a company. When you're in the stage of talking to the recruiter about pay, some recruiters will ask you, what's your current pay, or what was your previous pay in a previous position? So instead of telling the recruiter how much you're currently getting paid or what you previously got paid, you want to let them know that you've already done the research and you've looked at the competitors and what they're offering for similar roles. And you've also assessed your skills for this job, and you're confident in what you can bring to the table. And share with them why you feel that you would be an asset to their company. Let me just tell you this. Research has shown that your best opportunity to get the biggest raise is moving to a new company. So let's say, for example, you currently make $100,000. So you don't want to stay at that $100,000, you want to amp it up. Maybe you would say, I feel like $120,000 would be fair for this position. And trust me when I say this, I've done this so many times and it always works. When I was younger, I would fall for the trap of telling the recruiter of how much I currently got paid or a previous pay, but that never did me any good. It wasn't until I started negotiating and not giving that information out, those are the times that my pay increased the most. So depending on how much you currently make right now, you could be jumping 20 to 30%. Let me just tell you this. A recruiter does have the ability to check and see how much you currently or previously have been paid for a role. However, just let them do that work. Usually the time when they can find that out is when they do the background check. And by that time, you've already accepted the job. Never release that information, just let them do that work. A recruiter's job is to get you as cheap as possible. Don't get mad at that. It's just the name of the game. It's a business. So that business is gonna look out for itself. But your job is to get the pay that you desire. Now let's talk about when you're working on that job. Oftentimes there's an opportunity to do a bigger project or come up with a new idea for a company. And the stakes are higher for that. So maybe that could advance you into a higher role, or maybe it would be a salary increase. Things like that. So the bigger things that you're working on, you want to move in silence. So if you're unsure if you should move in silence on something, ask yourself this. Whatever you're working on, does it have the ability to move you into a higher position, give you a raise, or is it something that could truly affect your life? Because if you think about it, everything at work you don't need to move in silence on, it's just the bigger things. Let's say, for example, you're trying to pitch an idea for a commercial and you go ahead and tell your coworker about that idea. And then they love that idea so much that they decide to pitch that same exact idea themselves. So who would be at fault in that situation? You could say, wow, I can't believe they did that. But on the other hand, you had a part in that. You shared that information with them. The best advice that I could ever give is just keep it to yourself. Now, it really depends on what type of work environment that you're working in. Not every work environment is the same. I've worked in small companies, that was never an issue. But on the other hand, I've also worked for Fortune 500 companies, and people can have other motives. So the best thing to do is just keep it to yourself, because ultimately moving in silence just gives you peace of mind. And it's just a way to protect yourself or your ideas. And it's not to say that everyone's gonna do that, but sometimes you just don't know who you can trust in certain companies or certain situations. So that's why it's just so much easier to move in silence. So while we're talking about getting a raise or getting a promotion, another area that you wanna move in silence in is when you're going for a raise or when you're trying to get another position within that company. Because if you go ahead and tell a coworker, hey, I'm gonna go ask for a raise for whatever reason, or you're gonna go out for this new job that came about, And that may spark the idea in their mind to ask for that same raise or go for that same job. Let me be clear. I truly believe what is for you, and no one's ever going to be able to take your blessing. However, moving in silence is going to give you that peace of mind, because if you all of a sudden hear that the one person that you told that you're going to go for a raise, you're going to go for a new position, they decide to up and do that, then that's going to be playing in your mind like, oh, why are they doing that? I just told them about that, right? You don't need that extra stress or drama. Just stay clear of that and just don't say anything. Once you go for that job and let's say you get that job, then you can go ahead and tell them, but you don't need to tell them beforehand. So the next area that you want to move in silence in is whenever you hear gossip on the job. So for whatever reason, people love to talk about other people's business. And I just say stay clear and far from that. Never repeat anything that you've ever heard, even if it's from that exact person that's going through that issue, or maybe you heard it from someone else. Never ever repeat that to anybody. I'm talking anybody, because gossip flies so fast at a job, and next thing you know, everybody knows whatever it is. You never want to be the person that leaks that information. I always just say, if someone comes to you with information, keep it to yourself. There's no need for you to spread that to anybody else. I'm just putting that out there. Just stay silent about anybody's issues. Along those lines, don't tell anyone your business at work, whether you're going through a rough time, maybe there's someone you don't really care for on the job. Don't tell anybody, because like I said, that information can fly so fast, and you never want your business out in the streets. So whether it's your business or someone else's, just keep it all private. I don't know about you, but I cannot stand gossip. I can't stand drama. So I just say stay far away from it. So the next area that you want to move in silence in is when you're leaving the company. Whether you're just thinking about what else is out there and you're looking around, or you for sure know you want to leave the company, don't say anything until you have a concrete offer and you've accepted that offer. And then take it a step further and do not share that information until 2 weeks before your last day. So once you give your 2-week notice, that's when you want to share that with people. You never want to share it beforehand, because that information can get out. So save yourself the headache, look for that job in peace, and then once you landed that job, give your 2 weeks notice, and only 2 weeks notice. So those are the 5 most important areas that you should move in silence on your job. So until next time, I'll see you later.